Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tech Point Africa podcast. My name is Oluwani Femi.
I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Sage.
Yes, it's a cool morning here in Lagos.
It's not cool, it's hot.
Is it? Or well, I'm feeling cold because
Yeah, Tej is the only person that feels hot inside the rain, right?
Pray for Tej.
No. Be like Tej, please.
By the way, did you guys experience any traffic?
I
No, I
think
did not.
it's better. It's better than last week's.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are hoping it keeps getting better, and because the rains are here.
Maybe people did not just go out today or something.
Probably because of the rain.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
I just felt like, it is well.
Yes. Okay, yes. So we'll quickly go to what we have for you today. Right. This came to us
Over the weekend.
yes. It's good news. It's good news as much as Nigerian tech ecosystem is concerned. Facebook is planning to open an office in Lagos by
Lagos. Last kitty.
the second half of 2021. And the big deal there is that this is the first African office that will be having local talent, like engineers, software engineers.
So the one in South Africa didn't have all this, right? So
It's just like an headquarter for
Okay.
Sub-Saharan Africa Facebook team. So we are looking forward towards it, and we are hoping that probably start recruitment.
Okay, so what does this mean
Talent.
exactly for us?
More recruitment, more talent,
Yes.
Yeah. More job opportunities.
More job opportunities.
because Nigeria has a stream of talent, tech talent.
Should startups start watching
Okay,
after
true.
their
Yeah,
talents
true.
or something?
There is this thing. I mean, there's the flip side of it in the sense that they can start
Poaching, right?
poaching. Yeah. But I mean, it's good in the long run because
and take into consideration what Facebook has been doing in Africa generally, especially in Nigeria. So they've had a focus on Sub-Saharan Africa for a while, and the effect has been seen in South Africa, Kenya, and even Nigeria, especially in the increasing rate of internet user. Talking about internet penetration and also human development, talent development. The NGO in collaboration with CCHub, where
for deep tech startups,
for deep tech startups and other communities that Facebook is in charge of. So we are hoping that this brings
if they poach your
Then go
talent, you
and-
poach from another person's zone. It's just a cycle of this thing.
or go and groom your own.
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, so I didn't even think about this in terms of talent when I first saw the story. The first thing I thought was regulations. Like, that is what happened. They have millions of users in Nigeria without having to pitch their tent so far. Now they've pitched their tent. So what next?
It will draw government attention.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think that they're willing to pay the price. I don't think it's a big deal for them to pay tax or
They are even
regulated,
doing other
right?
things.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's
doing other
just
things too.
one of the opportunities. Is the opportunity cost or something?
Yeah,
That they're willing to
all
take.
those into consideration.
Yeah.
yeah.
At least, let's say the South African market is similar to Nigeria, so they can take a cue from that.
I don't think so.
You don't think it's
Nigeria's one is worse.
Nigeria. No. So
regulation-wise or
yeah, Facebook
talent-wise?
is actually partnering. I learned a partner with Mewan in 2019 to lay fiber in Ogun and those states. And they are building the to Africa cable to connect East and West Africa together.
Subsea
So
cables.
many things are going on, and I think these ones are just like a front for the other things. that are
Exactly,
doing
And
inside.
yes.
the markets in Nigeria, they won't go ahead with
To
this.
do
Yeah,
this.
So Nigeria is a big market, especially for the talent, and well, it's good news to the tech ecosystem. Everyone is happy about it, at least from what I saw on Twitter. So talking about talent building, we heard that the Ghanaian-based entrepreneurship program,
Yeah, an
Yes.
incubator.
an incubator, MEST, like they did a kind of change in their.
Well, it's not really like change per se. So like normally they incubate some entrepreneurs where those entrepreneurs where they come in, they become entrepreneurs in training, AITs, and they form like, let's say from 10 to 15 teams. Then at the end of the day, only a few of them get invested in. I mean, all of them can be invested in, but like most of the time it's just a few of them. So last year they had 13 startups, and they invested in 11 of them.
Okay.
Right? That was like 100K for each of them. That was 1.1 million.
Okay.
This time they had 15 startups
And invested
15
just 7.
that
Yeah.
graduated.
that graduated, but they invested in only 7. So it was
Right.
7 of them they saw as viable to continue,
Oh,
outside
okay.
Mest.
So now it's like the change. If you want to say there's a change there, it will be like now that you graduated doesn't mean that
Exactly.
you are worth investing in.
Yeah, what investing exactly. I mean, it has been like that for a while, but like this one just shows that just less than half of the startups that were there got invested in. So because of COVID, and because
or
of
the funds available.
yeah, and maybe the startups were not just I don't know, good enough. Sorry to say. So the 7 startups are Shopper, Henny, Boxcorn, KPI Lens, Tendo, Jovelin, and Eleka. So these startups will be,
Which part of the continent are they from?
well, they didn't really specify, but I mean, they are around Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa, right? So like these startups there. So I mean, they graduated last month, and now they just announced that they invested in them, and we'll see them going. I don't know. I mean, wish them the best of luck.
Yes.
You reported about one that graduated last year, Base Group.
Yes, Base
Exactly.
Group.
So I mean, some of them go on to do great things. Some of them just,
At least they get the recognition.
exactly that.
Yes,
they
talking
deserve.
about startups and new startups, newly launched startups. One of them just got a
Pre-seed funding.
Pre-seed funding.
Yeah.
Like,
As in,
funding of
that's before
$500,000.
yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
How many months old are they? Just maybe you should start with
They are
that.
2.
2 months
Like,
old.
last month, probably, I don't know, we're recording one podcast session when they just launched.
Wow.
That's last month
What's
when
the
they
name
launched.
of the startup?
Yeah, so they're called Mono, Mono.
Okay.
So they're an API fintech startup. So if you guys have heard about Plaid in the US, so they integrate bank accounts of customers and present them to companies that need them. So let's say I have like different bank accounts, right? And I want to like opt for a loan in Carbon. So Carbon is a lending company in Nigeria. So Carbon will need my account to know if I'm worthy of the loan I'm requesting for, and to look at my spending history and all that. So these guys provide the API for those guys to plug in, right?
To the banks directly.
Exactly, to the banks directly. So they get the information they need from you, and and they make decision based on that API that they give them. So that means Plaid does this in the US, right? Plaid came in 2013, and last year we heard about Okra.
Yeah,
Yes,
$1
yes.
million.
$1 million that they had. That was even pre-seed round too
Pre-seed.
for Okra too. Okra too, they are doing the same thing for Nigerian banks and Nigerian customers.
That's
Now
awesome.
Mono is coming out again too.
Yes. So I'm thinking from what I'm seeing here now, the founders of this startup, that they had previous startups. So
Yeah.
I'm getting a vibe here, like being a serial entrepreneur
Works.
makes
Yeah.
you get funded quickly.
Kind of.
I'm
yeah.
just thinking like this is quite
It shows like you have experience in
yes,
like,
and
the
maybe you've
space
gotten investors
back in
trust.
before. Yeah, trust.
Yes. So it's easier for you to pitch
Even
a
if
new,
your startup fails, like this guy now, Abdulhamid Hazan, he co-founded Oyapay
Pay, yeah.
and Voyance. Oyapay
Yes.
failed.
Voyance is just recent.
Voyance, yeah, but
Yeah,
he
Voyance
has
is
left.
still thriving.
That was
according to
last
what he
year,
said,
yeah. So he left Voyance to start this, and I mean, yeah, it's like you
we
said, it
wish
shows,
them well.
I mean,
we wish them well.
Just like Tej was saying 2 months ago, we were talking about Voyance.
right?
Yes, now we don't know
And
what is
fintech
coming
fraud.
next, right?
Well, oh my God.
2 months old. Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's fintech for that matter. So
Yeah.
fintech is still
It's, I think it's the fintech guys that
still the
get
cash
get
cow.
this stuff.
Okay, yes, talking about funding and startups, Nigeria government is doing something about funding startups. Manuel, what's that
Okay,
about?
so yeah, in case you saw my story and the headline confused me too. So it not only confused you, the headline was confusing, I admit, but that's what it is.
Which is?
The government has earmarked $193 million
Okay.
to help startups and SMEs pay
93,000.
$193 million. That's about 75 billion naira.
So I
Okay.
mean, there was a time you reported something similar.
Yes, yes. I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So they have earmarked that to pay to help SMEs and startups pay salaries.
Okay.
So remember, like a few months ago, like Ted was saying, I reported that the Nigerian government released like a policy document for to support SMEs and startups. They want
Yeah.
to save startups. They want to create 1 million tech jobs. They want to
Because
do
of
a lot of
COVID.
things. Yeah, because of the effects of the pandemic. They've even said they want to build a solar facility, and
They always want to.
yes, they always want to. So the first of all, the CBN last week said, okay, we're giving you guys about $1 million to develop solar energy for rural areas. So that's a different story entirely. You can check that out. But this time around, they have opened a portal for SMEs and startups to register. Okay, so it might be confusing in Nigeria, but there's no bespoke policy for startup yet.
Startups.
So everybody is SME currently. So
So at least the specification requirement for the startups fit into it.
yeah, they fit into the SME. So you can
Okay.
apply. If you check the website, you can see the link there to the Twitter page. You just click on it and apply
So you have
to.
to show proof that you don't have money or what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think when they released the document before, they said they'll be targeting sectors that were critically affected by the pandemic: hospitality, tourism, transport companies, all those sectors.
Okay.
Then yeah, you just
How
have
about
to.
media? We're affected now.
They're affected.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
so. I guess so. So yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's good to see some encouragement on this front.
And as long as
But will
it's-
he pull through? And will he like? Yeah, is he pull through?
let's have faith.
Yeah, let's have like at
Let's
least the
have
CBN said they are disposing part of the loans they earmarked for SMEs too, like a few months ago. Even though no testimonials yet,
I
or,
know,
They're
right?
coming.
or
We need
screenshots.
this.
Please let
I think they
us
should
have-
arrange them and show us.
Let's-
At least are the
let's-
people.
we hope this year we bring small businesses and startups out of
Yeah,
any
yeah.
debt they've gone into because of the pandemic.
This is I'm not going to pay back, Abby. You just dash.
No, yeah, it's like survival fund now. You know, other countries were doing it. That I wrote some.
Yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
a story before
At the time,
that
we were
one.
asking why Nigeria wasn't doing such like
Yeah,
they were just
yeah.
asking us and taxing us rather.
taxing, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, talking about tax, something happened over the week, during the week,
Yeah.
or earlier in the week, right? And well, it caused a mini rancor, a mini this thing on the
It's
internet.
a certified rancor. It's not
It
mini.
is. It's not mini, like it's a major one, right?
No,
On the
it's-
internet
yeah.
because of everything that it's about. So, Emmanuel, what's it about? Like, yes, sorry, it's bad news, but just tell us what's it about.
Okay, so I won't necessarily call it bad news. It's just confusing news.
Well,
Okay, so here's what happened. Last week, Thursday, after podcast, I was going back home and I saw the message on Twitter that every account holder should go to their bank and fill what they call a self-certification form. Now, that certification form, at first glance, it looked like you were going to go and fill another BVN again. Yeah,
because of
it's-
the information that is required.
because of the information that's required. So you have BVN, you have your national ID card, you have your international passport, you have driver's license, you have SIM registration. That was what people were angry with. But it was not really about identity. They wanted to find information about people earning money outside the country.
Good luck.
So they want to find information about people that have accounts. If you have shares, those of you that buy stocks from China and any other country,
Don't start regulating that too.
that is the idea. You have any assets that pays you dividends at the end of the year.
Well, the ones I have don't pay me dividends.
Really?
Just
Are you
saying.
sure?
Well, just
It might be 0.000, but it's still something.
they
Why-
should come
why
and
are they
tax it now.
Why are they doing this?
They want to like bring more tax revenues.
Yeah,
So
the one they have is not enough.
no, now.
At
So,
all.
but
Can never be
on a
enough.
serious note, taxation in Nigeria is very, very low. Like tax to GDP ratio, it's below 10% currently, and that is what, yeah, that's what most countries of the world survive on. Like a country like UK now, like a major part of their revenue is taxation.
Okay.
Then a country like US, they tax their citizens wherever they are in the world. So as long as you're a citizen of the US is taxing
At
you.
least they have the right to tax them.
Yeah, they have. Why? Well, so
We
why
don't-
don't? Why? Why?
Do we have good governance? Let's not even go into that. Let's just continue.
No, it's part of
with
the
the story.
discussion.
Basic necessities.
Exactly. I
Basic
mean,
What do they
necessities,
use
exactly.
tax
infrastructure,
for?
everything.
When
yeah,
you're providing your own electricity, you're providing your own
everything. Like,
you're providing your own security.
so what do you
And
need
this
the
is
tax
what
for?
your tax supposed to take care of. Now they want to tax you for what?
Yeah.
So it will
that's-
not be.
that's a very
That's
good
that I'm
question.
saying is a different argument entirely because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tax are not using for anything. They just want more tax to.
So immediately we just see anything like tax. The next thing that will come to our mind, how will I escape this?
yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, their policy is actually supposed to be meant for high net worth individuals, millionaires, billionaires.
So they can't just target these people instead
They
of
can't just
telling.
target
tell-
it.
why can't they do that?
At
I
least
don't
They
know.
know
from-
this high net. This if they go to all those if they, I don't know, partner with banks or something.
yeah.
They can check their financial records and know who are high net worth individuals
don't
instead
have-
of stressing the
Especially
whole
another-
this thing to go to start
the
filling
bank.
this thing. Come on.
Another argument is that assuming it's like an online thing.
Yeah, they actually
will have
they
been
they okay.
easier.
So they didn't make that known before, but they actually said that it's on. It's
But we
online.
need to know work.
It's because how many people are
We know.
like, because,
We know it to know work. It's just a whole lot of stress.
Okay,
to be
so the
honest.
thing is, a lot of people, in Nigeria, we have people that siphon funds and embezzle funds, and if you check their financial records in Nigeria,
It won't
you
be
might
there.
not see much
it's
money.
not when they have offshore accounts.
So they now carry money to offshore like islands, Cayman Islands, Switzerland, all those.
Mauritius.
Yeah, you remember Abacha loots now, Abacha, like Series A, Series B to Series Z every time. So from time to time, so these guys they always keep money in all those places. They can go on, they might even not. They decide not to even deposit money in a bank.
you can
just
invest it.
invest
So
it,
how
buy a
would this?
startup.
How would this show them where this?
So
offshore
yeah, the
accounts?
idea behind the self-sufficient form is automatic exchange of information. These European countries they have like an alliance where once your citizen is coming to invest in my country, they can
Okay.
automatically send you that information without even you asking.
Mm.
So if you invest in a startup in say Mauritius can send the message directly to FRS without having to tell you anything. So FRS, when they want to audit your account at the end of
Audit
the
that
month,
one too.
you will not show FRS that I didn't earn money this month. They will not say, okay,
Let's check your
let's
account.
check your global revenues, and they see that you have money in Mauritius.
But why is the US exempt from this though?
US, I'm not sure. They are not part of the alliance. It was made by European countries.
Mm.
So the EU made this alliance and they decided to open it to other countries as time goes on. So Nigeria decided to enter the alliance last year.
107 countries, right?
Yeah, 107 countries.
And
Like,
the US is not part.
it's not.
What? I mean, those
So
ones that that's
Your
even where
US
some people
stocks are
have.
safe.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Well, let's see how it goes.
So let's just hope this plays out well, because okay, let's say it is online now. I don't know. Let's just hope it turns out well, because if you want to cover your tracks to start with, because you don't want to pay the tax, you might not want
And
to.
they know you're a
to
thief
ready-
now. Why you?
No, but seriously, those rich people, I believe they should pay tax.
And
Let
they
them
should
pay.
now. I'm just saying there should be a way.
Yeah, the
where
problem
they
is
will
they
know.
don't know who is who.
They should know.
Now, so you could have investments in many of those countries.
And now no, and they will not know.
They will not know.
They might not know now.
You're living your low-key life.
I wish God I beg you.
talking about
about
talking about
podcast.
African countries. Talking about African countries. So another thing is happening in Kenya, and this is to favor startups.
At least these ones have a bill for startups.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. A bespoke
just-
law for
We're
startups.
just hoping that. Well, please, Emmanuel,
Nigeria,
please
see your
go
mate
ahead.
Yeah. It's really, this is an actual see your mate situation because they are one of the big four economies in Africa. So yeah,
Okay,
Kenya.
Kenya. Okay.
Kenya, one of the big four. So if Kenya is working on a startup bill and if it gets passed into law, they will become the third nation in Africa to have a bespoke law for startups. So
What are the other countries? Tell me, SA is part of
Tunisia
it.
and Senegal.
So SA is not
It's not
part.
even
SA is one of the
it's not
major.
even any of the
None of the big four
tech.
have a,
Tunisia, Senegal. Tunisia is not really
Egypt.
a tech this thing.
in North Africa. Kenya East, South Africa South,
South,
then Nigeria
Nigeria
West. So it's the big four in Africa.
Don't
None
have
of them have a
startup.
bespoke law for startups, and these countries have more thriving startup
Senior
ecosystems
than the
than
others.
Tunisia and Senegal.
Senegal.
And even Rwanda is working on theirs, Mali is working on theirs, and a number of other countries. So this it comes with a lot of benefits for startups.
Okay.
There are tax
Intellectual
credits, intellectual property protection. In fact, they want to create
Incubation
local
programs.
incubation programs and, of course, international incubation programs. The only caveat is that for you to participate or enjoy most of these benefits, your startup should have a majority Kenyan ownership. Remember what we were saying about ICT policy?
60%.
Yes.
It was 30%.
Was it 30? Okay, 30. Yeah,
30%
30. Yeah,
ownership,
30.
but they removed that number and said majority. So it might be bigger, it might be lower. But as long as Kenyan or a Kenyan
It's
have
part of-
majority stake in that company, then of course they will be able to enjoy most of the benefits. So yeah, there are a lot of things. Tax,
But you have to be headquartered in.
yeah, you have to be
Startup
headquarters in
has those
Kenya too. Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
it's a lot of interesting things. You can check out the article once you are done
At
listening
least
to this
Uhuru
podcast.
Kenyatta is working.
Yes.
Unlike
but
somebody-
okay, what do you think about having majority ownership? We both know that we don't have local investors much in Africa.
Yeah, I mean,
majority
it's just
of-
Yes, it still gives room for experts now.
How?
see, the whole majority stake. I mean, 10% can be majority stake. 20% can be majority
What's
stake.
the likelihood that someone who has 10% in a company is the majority owner in that company? I mean,
it
everyone
might not
else
be
has
the-
less than 10. How many
I
investors?
get what you mean, Sha,
Yeah.
but like,
So you're trying to say now that it might not be.
you might pursue with the expert investors. there.
expert investors.
No,
Yeah.
I feel they see Kenya as a viable place, right? They're not pursuing them away. So I don't see any reason for them to, unless they just want their own dominance there.
So the question is, will local guys start investing in startups? I think that is what it is meant
Oh,
to
okay,
encourage.
okay.
Yeah, we local guys, maybe the
Companies, corporations.
corporations and companies.
I
will
don't
they
see that
invest
happening.
in startups.
I don't with this bill. I don't see that happening, Sha.
Why not?
That's
I
what
mean,
they're trying to
yeah, I
encourage,
think-
like nationals.
Yeah, nationals, investors. Oh, okay. Yeah, nationals, investors. What am I even saying? Local investors, rather, that are nationals of Kenya, can invest and gain some of these tax gains. They are
Oh, is that what
dividends.
that is part of the
It's
bill?
part of it.
Okay,
Yeah, part
sure.
of the
So you
startup
can work.
bills.
You can
gain
work for
tax
them.
dividends. So your dividends will not be taxed once you
Oh, I
invest in
didn't
that
even
company.
know that. See,
That's good.
sure. No,
At least,
why won't
at
they?
least it's a pointer that they have the good of the startups in mind.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I'm sure
we heard that Safaricom recently invested some millions of dollars into some startups. So yeah, it might even be
country too.
in the country.
that's
So
nice. And I hope
it can work.
Nigeria will take a leaf from this.
we always hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conversation.
We
is-
can't stop hoping. So thank you for listening today. That's all we have for you today, and I hope you've gotten insight. And if you still need to read more, we had the links of all the stories.
We know you want
discussed
to
here.
read more.
Okay, we know, right?
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
know,
come
okay.
on.
I'm used to hoping.
Please
Okay.
don't.
So we know you want to read more, so we had the links of all these stories we discussed, and we hope that you will also join us next week. Emmanuel, where can they get this podcast?
Okay, so if you're listening to us for the first time, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And if you are listening to us, if you've been listening to us before, you can please drop a like or review and share with your friends and family and your enemies and everybody.
So first time listeners cannot do this one. Eh?
no. Let them
Just
make the
saying it.
decision with that. So yeah,
Okay,
please.
and yes, we are reminding you of another podcast that is powered by TechPoint, built in Africa, where we tell the stories of startups, of founders, and other
Innovators, yeah, in
and
Africa.
other innovators in the Africa ecosystem. So you can look out for that from the same platforms that Emmanuel has mentioned. So Tej, what's the last word that you have for us today?
Parting words. Stay
Right?
safe.
Stay
Yeah.
safe. You just have to stay safe. So we hope that you join us again next week. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
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 Take care.